Boxing Truth here, back with another video. I know it's been like a couple of weeks. Time just flies, man, when you lose track of when's the last time you made a vid. So why not just make a vid today? Let's talk about a wanted target in the middleweight division. My man Sergiy Derevyanchenko, fresh off a $5 million payday against Gennady Golovkin, live on DAZN, making that DAZN bread. Derevyanchenko's career has uplifted. It's been a complete turnaround, a change in status. He's not just some unknown guy anymore fighting for a title or a top elite contender. Now he's among the best middleweights in the world, among the big names in the middleweight division. And he's a wanted target, being sought by some of the best fighters at around the weight class. He's got two really good options for his next fight. I mean, all you got to do is put in a good performance, have some people think you won, and you're in line for another significant fight and a third chance for some redemption to prove that he is one of the elite middleweights in the world today. He had a great fight against Golovkin last October. It was a very good fight, very exciting fight, one of the best fights of 2019. Golovkin was in a life and death struggle. Some people thought he lost, but Sergiy Derevyanchenko's slow start in that fight pretty much cost him the fight, the knockdown, losing the first 2 rounds. But he finished the fight strong and put a dent in Golovkin's body, made him look weak in there, made him look, for the first time in his career, legitimately hurt in a fight. And he went down, it was that left hook to the body that did it. But Derevyanchenko's a good fighter. Thought he narrowly beat Jacobs. Unfortunately, in two of his biggest fights, he's had 2 slow starts. So you could say he's a slow starter, but he's a pressure technician type fighter. Good condition, solid power, not great power, solid power, good boxing IQ, good boxer, good amateur pedigree. And he will be a good opponent for either Canelo or a Charlo. But who should Sergiy Derevyanchenko fight? Who is he going to fight, really? Got 2 great options, but one's a fight at 168. I guess for a fight against Canelo, he will have to move up 8 pounds to fight in a different weight class. Or he could fight Charlo for the WBC title. In-house fight, PBC. Keith Conley, who manages Derevyanchenko, is close to Al Heyman. Most likely that's the fight that's being pushed for on Derevyanchenko's side. And it's a great fight for Charlo. Giving him a chance to prove if he's a legitimate champion by defeating a top contender in Sergiy Derevyanchenko. It's tough because most likely Derevyanchenko's not going to see the type of money against Canelo that he saw against Golovkin, not especially with no audience in place, most likely for a date in September. So he's not going to get the same type of payday now that when he got the DAZN bread last year for a Canelo fight. The Charlo fight, same situation. Perhaps they can match the type of money he'll make to fight Canelo, to fight Charlo. He won't have to move up in weight. It'll be an easier fight to make. But my guess is, I believe Derevyanchenko is going to fight Charlo next. I mean, it could easily change. I mean, I really don't think so. I don't think, honestly, I think Derevyanchenko and Charlo are going to fight. And most likely David Lemieux will get the shot against Canelo, an in-house fight. perfect opponent for that type of event. No crowd. Nice, easy showcase win for Canelo. Knockout win, another highlight knockout win forthcoming if that fight gets finalized against David Lemieux. Charlo against Derevyanchenko is interesting, though. Now, the unfortunate thing for Derevyanchenko in both of these fights that he's being offered, against Canelo, he'll lose a decision. He can't overcome any slow start. He can't have a slow start at all against Canelo. Canelo's punches are too flashy, and you ain't going to get a decision. Not on his network, not on his turf. It just ain't going to damn happen. It's not going to happen. Derevyanchenko doesn't have the power, really, to knock Canelo out. That's another decision fight, somewhat competitive, that Derevyanchenko loses a clear-cut unanimous decision. But he'll be up against it and trying to get a victory against Canelo, especially at 68 on his turf, on his network. Too much of a tall order, especially for a guy who is, like Derevyanchenko, doesn't speak English that good, doesn't have the knockout type style. It'll be a tough fight for him to beat a Canelo on his home network. He'll most likely lose the decision. Same thing against Charlo. That's a tough fight to pick. I honestly, because of Derevyanchenko's style, I don't see him. He hurt Golovkin to the body, but in his top fights, he hasn't really been able to showcase that he can get guys out of there. And that's what he's going to need in order to get the decision against guys like Canelo or Jamal Charlo. He's just going to lose a competitive decision. He's going to have to do more than what he's done against Danny Jacobs. I felt he won the fight, but it was too close. I thought he lost a close fight to Golovkin. I thought the slow start cost him. Finished the fight strong, but he showed his class. He showed that he could fight. He put in a great performance, put on a great show. But he's gonna have to do more if he wants to get over the hump and be victorious in one of these big fights. Is he a better boxer than Charlo? Probably. But Charlo's undefeated. He'll be the ace side in that fight, and he'll most likely lose a controversial decision if that fight was to be made and to come off. But it's two significant fights for Derevyanchenko. Most likely he won't win these fights. It's just too much politically on the opposing fighter's side. It'll be hard for him to get a decision. Doesn't have the power to knock Canelo out. Maybe won't be able to hurt Charlo either. He's a tough fighter, young, fresh, undefeated, confident as hell. He'll be the favorite going into that fight as well. So, Charlo by decision, Canelo by decision. Either way,